This is a subject in 2025 that I can't believe I have to have. You gotta play video games with your kids. I know that there's a lot of parents who create a disconnect in their kids' game and they don't understand it, they don't participate in it, but I feel like my job as a parent is to enhance whatever my son is into. So, for example, if he's into knitting or imagination or singing, or if he's into painting or learning how to draw or learning how to build stuff or playing video games or playing soccer, my job is to support that hobby 100% and be involved and engaged with that hobby. I know there's a lot of parents out there that don't enjoy video games and they think it's a waste of time, but it really has nothing to do with video games. It's about getting down at your kids' level and having them trust you and learning about who your child is, right? When you get down on one knee and you get close to somebody and you speak to them gently and softly, they trust you and they learn to build a relationship with you. Some of my greatest memories, were playing video games with my son, whether it was building a world in Minecraft, whether it was beating It Takes Two, whether it was beating Breath of the Wild or beating Tears of the Kingdom, or watching my son beat his first Pokemon game for the first time, or encouraging him to play Pokemon Unite, or teaching him about Lego Fortnite, or starting Halo for the first time, or having him stand over my shoulder in the evening and watching me beat an Elden Ring boss, right? Like, your kid thinks you are the best thing ever. Even if, in some unfortunate cases, if you're unkind to your kids, they still think you are the greatest thing ever. And it's important to remember that that's all they know. And one way that you can prolong that period of time is by engaging with them in the things that they're interested in. And just because you game with your kids doesn't mean there aren't limits, right? You got to get your chores done. You got to get your homework done. You got to have responsibility. You should be out socializing. You should be out hanging out with your friends and doing different things, right? Just because you game with your kids doesn't mean that's all you do all the time. We set limits in our house. There are certain games they can play. There are certain games they can't play. I definitively do not let my son play online because he's too young. So you can incorporate gaming in a healthy way. And I think that that's the point of the conversation. There is a way for which you as a parent can incorporate gaming into your life in a healthy way that still has limits, where you can still get your work done, where you can still do things, and at the same time acknowledge who your kid is. I made a lot of mistakes when I first started gaming with my son. I started playing Super Smash Brothers, and he was too young for that, and he got really frustrated at losing all the time, so we had to take a break. I started playing Mario Party, and kids, young children especially, don't understand the concept of luck. They internalize it and they think it's because they're a bad game player. So when you first start gaming with your kids, especially if you do it from a young age, there are going to be games that come out that are not appropriate for them to play because they are not at the age level where they can understand it. But slowly over time, I built this really positive relationship around gaming. We started doing more collaborative games like Mario and Kirby and things where we could work together. Then we moved into basic competition like racing games, Mario Kart and such. From there, he started to want to do more and more challenging games. And that's where the love of gaming comes in. You're not going to do everything right away, but your willingness to participate in a hobby that your child enjoys is where it's at. If they play Fortnite, sit down and play Fortnite with them. If they're into Minecraft, learn how to play Minecraft, right? Stay with the young generation and learn how they do things. There will come a time, if you do things correctly, where they won't want to play games with you. And that's normal and that's important. But when they get older, they will come back and they'll go, man, my dad did all these great things with me. I just have never understood in my life parents that don't want to play video games with their kids. It can be such a fun moment, whether it's Mario Kart or Super Smash Brothers or Mario Party or Kirby or whatever it may be, learning to play Pokemon cards. When you really break it down, it really has nothing to do with video games at all. It has to do with engaging with your kids and learning who they are and supporting their hobbies. I can tell you that when my son and I started gaming together, we created this bond. We do other things together that's not just gaming. You don't have to be the gaming parent, right, who games with their kid. You can be a lot of other things. Gaming can be just one hobby. They're going to want to do other things with you. I just have seen this period of parents who go, this is adult stuff and this is kid stuff. And then they can't what's the word for it? They can't connect with their children, or they don't understand their children, or their children don't trust them as they get older, because there's this big barrier separating the two of them because they refuse to learn and engage with the hobbies, right? I know lots of parents who play catch with their kids, who go bike riding with their kids, but gaming has such a stigma about it that parents don't want to get in, roll up their sleeves, and learn these mechanics and learn these things. You have to game with your kids. It will change your time. Your kids will learn to trust you. Things will be overall happier for you if you game with your children. I can't encourage you enough to try to do that. It's worked for me. It's helped me and my son have a closer relationship, and I think it will help you as well. Game with your kids.